Welcome all. My name is Abigail Emerson. I'm the VP of Strategy for 8to18 Digital, and you have all joined us today for an overview of the equipment management platform that we have. Matt Yark is our product specialist. He's going to walk us through the features and functions and explain some ways that you can streamline your equipment management for next year. Some of you are already 8to18 customers, some are not. This is a platform that's available to anyone. Again, it's just an opportunity for you to see some easy ways to manage your equipment. This is also the kickoff of 8to18's Tech Tuesdays and Tech Thursdays. Tech Tuesdays are typically reserved for 8to18 customers who are looking for information and training and product details and features of 8to18 solutions. So for example, next week, we're going to have more of a training session for current customers. And Tech Thursdays are going to be for other leading industry partner programs and solutions. For example, this Thursday, Hometown Ticketing is going to be giving a demo on their free e-ticketing platform, which is integrated with 8to18 software. So for those of you that don't know, 8to18 Digital is an athletics management solution provider. Our core software is scheduling with a integrated website, along with our online registration, which is activity registration, camp registration, event registration, and we also do booster membership registration. Many of our partner programs are integrated with our registration platform. Obviously, next year, everyone is facing a lot of challenges with a return to play, which is going to look very different. We've made a lot of adjustments and created some solutions to help you all navigate that. But for today, it's all about equipment. So I'm going to pass it over to Matt. There is a question and answer Q&A box. We encourage you to ask questions. He's going to walk us through most of this. If there's a question that's relevant to what he's going through, I'll I might interject, but most likely we'll try to address some of the questions at the end of the demonstration. I also posted a link to, if you are interested in getting equipment management platform for your department, you can just fill out that form and we'll be sure to follow up with you individually. Okay, Matt, if you want to take it away.
Thanks, Abby. Great to have all of you here. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to take a look at our equipment software. As you should see on your screen right now, this is the login page to the software system. I'm going to go through these 5 tabs over here and just give you some highlights of each one. Also, just want to let you know here on the login page, this filter box will show all this. I will get into this in a second, but it does show all your sports. We're going to talk and use boys football as an example. So I'll jump into these tabs. The first one I'm going to go into is the settings tab. And there you can see here, there's 5-6 subsections. You can, with users, you can have unlimited users in the system. I'm in here as this is my test site. Every single user will have a profile. The profile also can become permission based. You can, so if you have a coach who you want just to see football, and you're the athletic director, you're the athletic admin, you probably would have full credentials, but you can then let a coach just see with inventory, let's say, as an example, where they can only view the inventory that I'll show you here in a minute, or they can only view their rosters. And then also you can also select the sport that you want them to see as well. So it's very, very the users are customized to you as an AD or an athletic admin, how you want them, what do you want them to be able to do in the system, to the steps I show you here in a few minutes. And just to be able to add teams, this is the other part everybody seems to ask about. It's unlimited. You can either import them via a spreadsheet, or you can type them in one by one. This is part of the setup process when a school comes aboard that we work with you on. So that's just the main features in the setting area. And I'll just keep moving along and jump into the next area, which would be inventory. Your inventory, here's what it would look like once in the system, and it is entered initially via Excel spreadsheets. And the spreadsheets there's 3 of them, and those 3 are one specifically for helmets that you would put certain information on there. There's a refurb date, refurbished date column for that you can keep track of. There's also the jersey. There's just a specific one for jerseys that has a number column, and then everything else fits into the standard equipment spreadsheet. Once a spreadsheet is filled, you'd save it to your computer. You would choose that file, and then the extension or the spreadsheet would show here. And when you hit import, you do see all of everything that is on that spreadsheet one more time, and all these columns are all edited. They can all be edited if you see a mistake beforehand, and you'll see it says the name of the helmet. These are helmets. The name of the helmet, the color, the quantity, price, barcode number, which I'll talk about in a little while, and then the style of the helmet and so forth. And then at the bottom, you'd hit save. And when you hit save, all this information is now transferred into the inventory section. And it would be a line item like so right here. It would show it shows the available amount of helmets, the total amount of helmets. This is different because I've used this within some past demonstrations where they're not. It would be initially you would have 137 available and 137 total, and then you can see them all one by one right here, and you can edit these fields. So you can go here, you would just click on the box, you would edit. You click edit, you can add helmets here if you need to, subtract helmets if there was more than one, change the size. I customized a field here with everything going on with the COVID-19 challenges we're all facing, where you can add notes based on cleaning notes, who maybe used that helmet on a certain day. If that helmet was used unfortunately by an athlete that may have contracted COVID, that information can go here. You can put in a refurb date. You could change those dates. You can change the date that it was added and the cost. And so it's very customized for each particular piece of equipment, where you can make notes about it and keep track of a lot of different information about that piece of equipment right here in the system. So that is how the inventory is entered, and also then how it can be changed or more can be added once initially in the system by the spreadsheets.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah,
We have a question from Sherry Jackson.
sure.
She's asking if you can add to the columns such as new or used.
Yes, there is a way, Sherry, great question. Here in columns, there is a way to customize. That would be in the settings area. I will jump back in here really fast into the customize area, and there is a way to add fields to the line item or the line for that particular piece of inventory. Or that group of inventory. So if you have, helmets, or if there were jerseys, you can certainly put something in here, another column in here that would that can denote that, and you can change that as well, like I showed you on the one more click here. You can put, then that would show up in this box, in this area right here. Hope that answers your question, Sherry. So yes, it is possible to be able to do that. Abby, any other questions about inventory that have popped up before I jump into rosters?
Nope.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have our system set up. We have got our teams in here. We've got our users in here. We've now added equipment, and now we're going to add athletes. Same type of process. There's two different ways to add athletes into your system. If you do have our registration platform, the rosters that are created in the registration platform are able to be uploaded into this system. So they integrate with one another. So you can have that athlete's information and you don't have to add it via and if you didn't have our registration platform, then it would be again another spreadsheet that you would add the athletes onto initially. You can also quick add and do it manually do it one by one if you need to for a specific team, or add an athlete after, let's say, the entire football roster is in the system, and you have two new players show up on the third day of practice, then you can go back into the system and add them one by one. You don't have to make another spreadsheet. Every single athlete has a profile. If there was a list of 40 athletes right here, and you wanted to get to a specific athlete's profile quickly, you can filter and search for that athlete right here. To go into an athlete's profile, you would click in the box, click on the name of the athlete, and his profile pops up. And in here, there are, based on how you added the information you added onto the spreadsheet, would be the information that would appear here. I again can customize the profile and put a box in here for COVID-19, where you could put a screening date in here. You could put information, any type of information that you needed to know in that profile, and in the box. And there are other, again, just like with the question Sherry asked about equipment, you could have unlimited boxes. This whole side here could be filled with more information that you might want to keep track of for an athlete. The other tab here up on the top, it's the athlete's name, is equipment. The equipment tab will show you any equipment that athlete has issued to him or her, and then it will also show a complete history of the issue and return of all the different equipment that have been issued and returned to him since he was an athlete and placed in the system the first time. So if he was put in here as a freshman, then you're going to have, at the end of his 4 years, you're going to have 4 years of issue and return history of all the pieces of equipment that you issued him, and then he returned at the end of whatever season that he's playing. And one last thing here also is that when athletes are seniors, they can be archived into like an archive list. So, and that space is unlimited. You can have unlimited archived athletes. So you can build a history of, for the last 7 years, here's all the athletes we issued and returned equipment to. You can also, once in that archive list, you can you can delete them from the list whenever you feel is necessary. So that is the profile of the athlete's profile section, and every athlete has one that is in the system. And Abby, any questions about that, or are we still good?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, great. Okay, so we now have our inventory in the system. We have athletes in the system, and now we're going to issue and return equipment. So I'm going to go here and click on issue and return equipment, go to issue equipment. And the athletes, again, were in boys varsity football. So if you had 40 players on your roster, you could search and find them either via student ID number if you added that for each athlete and when you were adding them, and that would show up in their profile as well. Or you can just search here and filter and type in the last name, and the athlete would appear here. Okay. The process or the steps for issuing equipment is choosing the athlete, and then we would go down and find the piece of equipment that you wanted to issue him. So we're going to say we're going to issue him a jersey. That jersey, all the jerseys again that I added in here, here's the number column. So we're going to give this athlete a small jersey and number 13. Let's say we're also going to give him knee pads. Now these, because they don't have they're not specific to being a helmet, or they don't have a number associated with them, they would come on they would be on the standard spreadsheet that I talked about. And let's just say we're going to give him 4 of these. We're going to check that. And then let's also say that he gets a pair of these Adidas shorts, and we're just going to give him this medium pair. And so he's been issued 3 items. And so you can, based on how much equipment that you have in here that you want to issue to an athlete, you can issue him 20 items if you need to. So it's unlimited. But we would go down here to the bottom when you're done issuing that equipment, and we would hit issue, and the box pops up with the athlete's name, and all the items that were issued to him are shown. Now, before I click confirm issue, I want to talk about that. I mentioned about the barcodes. The barcode numbers are, everything is, some schools will use the barcode option and some schools won't. But if you do have barcoded items, you would just simply click here and make the barcode box live. You'd have your scanner set up. You'd scan the barcode number on a helmet or a pair of shoulder pads, and those items and those barcode numbers would show up here. And then after you've manually issued equipment and you've done it by barcode number or by barcode items, you would then hit issue, and all those items now would show up here. So you would have, in my example, if we gave this athlete a helmet and a pair of shoulder pads, there would be 5 items, or in a sense 8 items if you count the knee pads as 4. And now you're clicking confirm issue, and the system is going to regenerate that information. It's going to say that all those items were successfully issued to the athlete. And basically you would go through that for every athlete on a team or on a roster. And now all that information is now shown also in the athlete's profile under the equipment tab. The return now to return equipment. So the season's over. Every school does this a little differently, but let's just say all the athletes are in line with all their equipment. They walk up to the table, coach or AD is sitting there, and they're handing in all their equipment. You're going to click on the return equipment tab, and there are multiple ways to return equipment. The quickest way of doing it is simply clicking on find the athlete, click on his name, and go over here down this column to return item. And the issued item button is right here. All the equipment will now show up here, and you're just going to click on the items that were returned. I'm going to leave one item out, this jersey, as I'm going to show you a report that you can run for missing equipment that wasn't returned. So you would go ahead, click on all these items. A box pops up in terms of the quantity. So he's returned all 4 of his knee pads, and he would click confirm return. And those items now have been taken out of the athlete's profile and put back into inventory. And it's just that straightforward of the process for issues and returns. There's nothing more else that you'd have to do. It's just a matter of having, again, all your equipment and your athletes in the system. So now let's say that Matt here has this missing jersey, and he needs, and we've gotten to the point where it's become a little challenging to get it back from Matt. Well, there's a whole reporting section here of different reports that can be run. And the 2 most popular are issuing and return, the issue report and the return report. So I'm going to just go in the return report first. I'm going to find that athlete, and I'm going to run the report. There's that, and when you can pop that out, when that pops up on your screen, you can see everything for boys football that was issued and returned back, and it shows a date and everything. Obviously these dates are the same because we're all doing this on one day. And then down here at the bottom of this report, you can customize a message, and you could print this out, put it in front of the athlete, depends on school policy, I would assume. And it could be, the athlete could be signed knowing he has to get this back to you within next week, or what the cost of this particular item is going to go on a student account. There's different ways, every school has different policies. This same report can be printed, and it also can be emailed to anybody, and you can change the email address in here based on based on who you need to send this to. Maybe you need to send it to somebody within the district, to keeps track of this. You might want to send it to mom or dad, or you might want to send it to the athlete directly. So it's a great way of when you're trying to track down that piece of equipment that an athlete just won't return. It's an easy way to start a paper trail of your work that you did within the system at the beginning of the season. The last report I'm going to show you, and then we'll open it up for some questions, is the issue report. So let's go back to when I issued all the equipment to this particular athlete. It would all be listed here. The entire cost would be listed here. And again, you could customize a message right here. And some schools will then take this and print this out with that message. And again, if it's possible, have the athletes sign it, or maybe mom and dad need to sign it, so they know they're responsible for the equipment the student athlete and their family has. And so again, this can be created into an Excel spreadsheet report, can be printed, and it can be emailed. So those are the basic features of the of the system. Again, the process becomes one that you set the system up by creating your users and adding your teams. And then you put your inventory in, and then eventually, when each season comes along for each team, you put your rosters in either via, via our software, our registration software, or you would just add, create it on the spreadsheet, and then from there you're just in the issue and return processes at the beginning and the end of the seasons. That's Abby. Do we have any other questions that have come in about that?
No, I don't see any. So, but obviously this is, oh, I've got one.
Gotcha.
From Matt Reardon. Hey, Matt. Can you run a report based on a sport rather than by individual athletes?
Yes, there is a report, Matt. There's a report in here. The missing equipment report is there is a field where you can choose any of the sports that you have added, any of the teams that you have added here. You can choose that and run that report. Yes, you can do that.
Great. Thank you. Cool. So for those of you, maybe you didn't hear at the beginning, I included a link that if you do have any interest in getting the equipment platform, you can submit your information there. But you can also reach out to Matt directly. I included his email address in the chat as well. But it's pretty easy to get set up. Is that right, Matt?
Yes, and I would probably say that if you're interested in one, I could show you. In this was a me going as a summary through the different sections, but I can do a full demo for you in about 45 minutes. Also get into the barcoding option a little bit deeper, and just go through this and show you the whole system step by step. And yes, getting your account set up or your school site set up takes about a day or two. And then I'm there to support and train and help you through those first couple of issue and returns that you'll have to do with your first, and any time, but the first couple, will definitely be, I'll definitely be right there, trying to help you walk you through those, for when those days come for the first times you have to use the system.
Great. So that's about it. I'm just going to send just quick for next Tuesday. Again, I mentioned that this Thursday we're going to be featuring Hometown Ticketing. They're going to walk through their e-ticketing process and their contactless features, and some pretty cool stuff that they've innovated since the COVID crisis began, and how that integrates with 8to18. And again, that platform is free. They have a $1 charge per ticket, and that's it. So that's on Thursday. Next Tuesday, I just posted the details of that. Our next Tech Tuesday, as I mentioned, is for 8to18 customers primarily. Today was an exception because it's an 8to18 solution that non-customers can also sign up for. But next week, it's going to be training on AD Assist, mostly for beginners, new or novice users, people who just joined, or any personnel whom you'd all like to be walked through some of the features. So, scheduling and modifying events, color coding, e-contracts, notification of changes, and transportation, which obviously is a big a big operational challenge for next year. So that is next Tuesday, same time. So we're going to be keeping the same schedule. It'll be 12 Central next Tuesday. And we will be recording these sessions as well, so that you can share with other people in your school, or other colleagues. All right. Anything else? Oh, we got one more. Is this an added cost to 8to18 fee? If so, what? So it's Yes, that's from Joe Curry. So yes, Joe, if you're an existing customer with 8to18, it's $500 for a year for the equipment inventory software. If for those of you who are not 8to18 customers, it's $600. So $500 for existing customers, 600 for new. All right. And where can we find the recording? All of you will be sent the recording after I get it posted. So we'll be able to follow up with all of you, and I'll CC Matt on those emails so that you can contact him with any follow-up questions. All right. Anything else? Cool. All right. Thanks all. Good luck with everything that you're going through right now, and we'll hope to see you either on Thursday or next Tuesday.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Matt. All right. Bye.